going to do it again, Andy. Just
do it.
Forgive me. But Texas theoretically could score 40 on them, right? Like their offense is going to be awesome this year.
Yes, they have the skill guys to score a lot of points if they put everything together.
So if their offensive line takes the step that we think that they're taking this year, and Quinn Ewers takes a step, that team with a pretty good game could score 38 to 42 points. Do we believe with what we know about Alabama's offense, questions at receiver, and we don't know who the hell the quarterback's going to be? Like, how confident are you that even though the game is in Tuscaloosa, that Alabama is going to put together an offense with a new offensive coordinator, questions at quarterback and receiver, a team that can score 42 points in that game?
Not as confident as I was last year when we made the bet that I lost because they didn't cover in Austin.
Yeah, it's going to be that.
I want to look at the future spread of this game. I'm very curious if you, while he's talking,
a game like that, it might lend itself to a different type of Alabama game plan where usually it's been, they're going to spread it out. They're going to throw it around the yard, but it might be a game where the quarterback situation isn't settled yet and they're going to have to lean on their running backs and try to shorten the game. So it doesn't get to a point where they feel like they have to score 40 plus to beat Texas. But I think as both of y'all were talking, something that I thought about when you're talking about the vulnerability of Alabama, I think this year is unique because when you look at their schedule, there are teams that can beat them. And I think even in years where Alabama might have had a question mark or two, you still have to ask yourself, well, is there a team on their schedule that's going to be able to play 4 quarters with them? And I think you look at a team like Texas, you look at Tennessee, who beat them last year. I know they have to go to Tuscaloosa, but that's going to be another competitive game. LSU is arguably the favorite in the West this year. So when you look at their schedule, there are formidable opponents who I think are very capable of not only playing with Alabama for 4 quarters, but probably beating them.
Yeah, and I don't know if the future line is even out now.
I don't think it is. They put something out in February, but that's not going to apply now.
Those lines are, but like if you had to guess, it's less than a touchdown, right?
I can see Alabama by 6 as a line. Now, no, that's going to adjust after that first week.
Give me a touchdown.
Yeah,
give me a touchdown. I'm serious. I am talking myself into this every single week.
We have months before this game gets played.
I've been thinking about it quite a bit, Andy. And I don't know if it's going to result in me humiliating myself on this podcast the week after the game starts, but I cannot. And I was telling you this on the walk back home from dinner last night.
Yeah.
I don't know how you could be a college football fan and not watch that game.
Yeah,
that is going to be. Is that this year's game?
Oh, is it?
In the non-conference, I mean.
In the non-conference, maybe. Yeah. I mean, because it's in Tuscaloosa, that environment's going to be wild. The game at Texas was great last year. The atmosphere was great, but Texas is not a traditionally great environment. They don't get loud.
Caught people by surprise.
They did, and that's why the fans were going nuts there.
So if we go this year and we are building this up into a great game, wow. It's like the last year of the Big 12, the new Texas.
You want Texas to be great so bad.
I don't know.
You really do.
I'm a Nebraska fan. I am an A&M stan. Huge Texas fan. I bleed Cornhusker red.
You just can't, your mind, you cannot wrap your mind around a school that has tons of resources and tons of advantages not being really great.
Listen, there's a high probability that Texas is just going to suck again. And that's fine. I can at least admit that is a possibility. But this is the first Texas team since we started doing this podcast together that would be a failure if it didn't win the conference championship, right?
Yes.
The expectations in the roster is built to a point now where there are no more excuses. There's no more, it's early. You've got a second-year starter now. You have an offensive line and a defensive line, frankly, that's better than any ones that they've ever had before. And they're going to a Tuscaloosa to play a team that is fractured in some places or perceivably fractured. And they played them down to the last second of the last year's game. I can understand and their over-under is 9.5 with Alabama.
With Alabama on the schedule, which is a weird one.
So
they and Oklahoma have the same total.
And I think this is the first year that Vegas is starting to agree with me.
Yeah, it's weird because if Oklahoma still had to play Georgia and they had the same total, that would make more sense. But that Georgia game got canceled because
Vegas has declared Texas is better than Oklahoma already.
Yes, which I'm not ready to declare that here.
Yeah, well, and fair enough. But I'm just saying, you might miss Iowa now, but I think that it is within the realm of possibility that you will be 1 month into your regular season Alabama career when you're like, holy shit, where am I?